We're stretching with Rich Hesketh. It's your new name.
Oh, that's harder than it is to say my real name.
Right? It has a nice ring to it, though. An important component to any workout. How much should we be stretching? What are the benefits? We're going to roll through some of these things. Important for not just athletes,
yes,
but for just sort of everyday, pattern of movement, right?
Right. Well, and actually your segue is great, rolling through it, because foam rollers and balls and everything is a great way to get started with your workout. I think where people fall off a little bit is they do flexibility, stretching, lengthening of the muscle before they do a workout, which you don't want to do.
Okay.
You don't want to do static stretching before. You want to do all your foam rolling and dynamic movements first.
Yes.
Do your workout, and then once you've tightened everything up, you want to release it by doing the static stretching. And most people understand the static stretch where you do the holds, hamstring gets overbeat, right?
Right.
But when it comes down to, I'm going to hand you the stick.
Sure, allow me to.
You can just stand there.
Hold the stick.
But with the foam roll, if we come down onto the ground, there are a lot of areas, IT bands, quads, calves, but even if we just start simply on the hamstring and feel like you've got weight on it.
This is a world of pain for some people.
For some people it's awful, and there are different areas that are going to be more sore, but you start at the attachments, so at the joint, and you roll slowly through all the areas.
Okay, now why are we doing this? It's for fascia, right, which is the outside of the muscle.
Yeah, and to that end, it's not lengthening the muscle itself, it's lengthening what the muscle slides through in that regard. So as we're doing that, you go through different areas. You can do hamstrings, you do this. I mean, obviously, if you've ever done it before, you go to the IT band and you lie on the side and you roll through with whatever weight you can manage, but you slowly roll through. But you're going to find sticky points that they really
need to live in there,
right? They really hurt, but you lean on them for a while, and what ends up happening is you feel releases, and it's almost like if you've ever had a frozen pea that's been thawed, and you squeeze it and it just goes bloop when the skin breaks, you feel those kind of releases as you go through some of those tight areas. Once you've done that, you've released things that you can use balls, you can use shorter foam rolls, and the balls are things you can lie on, trigger points on your back. But you need to find the points that are fairly tender, not killer, but stay on them for 15 to 30 seconds and to see if you can get a release. Okay. Now, the other thing that we use quite a bit of, and
the long bands.
Is the long bands, and you see these in a lot of gyms. Yeah. This is the lighter one. This is the heavier one, and we'll go with the lighter one. I'll get you to.
I'll just keep holding the stick until.
Yeah, just till it's time to go. But I'm going to get you to hold on to this. And all I want you to do is get into a little bit of a squat position.
I'm stretching. Okay.
And just go single arm. And what I want you to do is try and feel your shoulder blade come right off of your rib cage. So as it's being pulled, so there's some traction going on, and this, honestly, from the area from the shoulder. Now we're not going to go too crazy.
My armpit's going to fall off. Is that correct?
Exactly. So what we're ending up working on is and you can have things up higher, so you're in these kind of positions. I've found a lot of people have had adhesions in their shoulder, and it's an area that people have a hard time stretching. Yeah. Even if
we're sitting at a desk all day.
The door. Yeah. Exactly. This band allows as much tension as you need to be in these kind of positions. You can step back, create some length. But what we're trying to do is create length through the full fascial plane. And one of the areas, again, that we really look to get into is if we can get ourselves into a lunge position here. You can have a band or not, but you can put your foot up on a bench or a box so you create extra strength, extra length.
Are we still pre-workout here?
This is mid-workout or end now. So as we start doing the static stuff, this is more at the end of the workout. So roll first, stretch at the end.
Got it.
From this position here, what I'd like to do is start incorporating the upper body a little bit. So if you reach your hands out and try and lengthen as much as you can this way, reaching out, and then turn away from your back leg as you go. So you're creating some flexibility and movement through this diagonal plane.
Right.
So you're also working through right from rib cage all the way down to your knee. So your hip flexor is getting some work, and most people's hips are pretty tight.
Yes.
As we start this reaching and turning, then you're adding some rotation to it in a stabilized position. So in this position, you're creating activation in your posture, but then you're taking it through range and getting into some fascia that you can't otherwise get to just by sitting there and stretching your hamstrings, stretching your quads. You're adding active movement.
Got it.
Take it through ranges, just even sitting on the ground, reaching your arms over your head and try to create this length so that you feel like someone's stretching you through here.
And really quickly, just for every day, how much should people be doing this?
This
Is
should
it
be
just
a
at the
daily-
gym, or it's, yeah?
No, this should be a daily thing. You don't want to stretch if you're cold. You want to do a little bit of a warm-up. That'd be like pulling an elastic band out of the freezer.
Right.
It's not going to stretch very well. But do a little bit of a warm-up. Stretching every day will help. And people, a lot of times, just before you, even if just some mobility stuff, even before you get out of bed, will help start your day better.
Oh, good. Okay, so if we're sitting at our desk today and we're doing this,
Yeah.
that's a good thing. Andy, it's just like your warm-up that you do at the Weather Center.
It's a lot of
Hands up.
calisthenics. That's what I'm doing for like a half hour before to prep mentally,
Full
physically, and spiritually.